everyone. In this video, I'm going to answer a viewer question. Essentially, they want to know, to become a web developer or a software engineer, should they go the self-learn route or the university route? So this question comes from Sushila Kaushik, and she asks me, hey, I'm an 18-year-old with some experience in front end. I need career advice regarding self-learning route versus that of the university path. I had a diversified, fun experience in previous months with web security, Linux, and some OSS stuff, which pumps me up. But I don't know the trade-offs for both choices. Also, I'm pretty confident that I could learn at a better pace with better quality than being in college, since in India, it seems like even the top colleges have many problems with tech culture, as far as I can see on their forums and GitHubs of undergrads. And there remain very few curious group of people. Also, there are options for online degrees like BSc, so which opens doors for future opportunities and parallelly doing the OSS stuff. But honestly, I don't know anything of corporate and cannot believe the influencers here. Neither I have family person in software to take advice from, so it'll be really helpful if there's some raw response. Well, first of all, Sushila, I want to congratulate you on even asking this question and thinking through the process. And I'm also very impressed how you found something that pumps you up and you're getting interested in. So definitely software engineering, becoming a web or an OSS developer is a good career path for you. But whether you should go the university or the self-taught route depends on a few things. I will assume, reading your question, just assuming that you come from a middle-class Indian family, which means it's possible that you are able to afford a university degree in India. And for all of those you're watching from America, know that American degrees, bachelor's in software engineering, cost anywhere from $200,000 to $400,000. But in India, the same 4-year degree can be acquired for less than $10,000 for 4 years, and that is including room and board. So understand that's why this question is so different for an American student versus an Indian student. So coming back to your situation, Sushila, after reading this comment from you, I think you will benefit the most by going the hybrid route. And I know my answer is going to suck and you'll have to work much harder than you anticipated. But if you got a degree in engineering, computer science from an Indian university, while working on these side projects and while building your portfolio and taking your learning through the roof, you will reap the benefits of both worlds. So let me explain to you how at least my bachelor's degree went. 4 years of engineering. I did mine in IT or computer science. They were very similar. And most of the times we were basically having fun and doing nothing. And right around the exam times, we would start working on our practical exams and theory exams, and it was probably less than 20% of our time that we ended up studying. So in your case, because you're asking such great questions, I would imagine that you will be able to take that 20% of work time all the way up to, even if you took it to 50% or 60%, which means you study 20% for your exams, you pass them with decent grades, and the rest of the 30 to 40% of the time, you work on building websites or computer software systems for clients that you seek out. And there are so many ways to do that. If you want me to make a separate video for that, I can do that. But essentially, you find someone who needs software and you write software for them. It doesn't matter what software you write as much as how interested you are in it or how you can find a solution to someone else's problem. So for example, you go to a mom and pop bakery shop and go write them a website or a mobile app if they need it, or somebody who wants a mobile app, somebody who has money, they want to get into technology but they don't know how to write code. You find them through friends, family, people, put yourself out there online, but you start building real world projects. Now what this is going to do is give you a good structured understanding. The syllabus from the university is going to give you a good structured understanding of how the nuts and bolts work in the computer science land, and the projects that you're seeking on your own, doing by yourself, are going to give you the real world experience. Again, this is the most powerful combination. It doesn't matter where in the world you are learning computer science. If you have a degree and you have practical experience, you are unstoppable. And the reason for that is, unfortunately, there are many recruiting pipelines that still look for computer science degrees before they'll even give you a call. It is absolutely possible for you to not have a computer science degree and still get jobs and still go ahead in your career. Just that getting your foot inside the door is going to be that much harder. I personally know many people, new people back at Netflix. We're all software engineers, senior software engineers, and some of them had arts degrees. Some of them did not even finish college, but they are working at Netflix and earning multiple six figures every single year. So it is possible, just that it is going to be that much harder and it's going to take you longer. So if you understood the crux of that answer and you're able to motivate yourself this much that you get your bachelor's degree, but at the same time, do not waste as much time as I did, because I had to cover all of that up in my master's degree. I don't regret the path that I took, because I ended up working in really big tech companies, Yahoo, Zynga, Fox Sports, and then eventually Netflix. Made quite a bit of money, and now I'm financially independent. I have the time and bandwidth to help people like you. It's just coming full circle for me at this point in life. So I think that route was great as well, but you will be able to achieve, if you focus and take this advice by heart, you will be able to achieve all of those things in less time than I did. And the reason why I do not suggest going for 100% self-taught route is because almost everybody that I've ever spoken to or even read about online, they mentioned that the self-taught route was extremely hard, and I get why. Because this is engineering, there's so many moving parts, so many nuts and bolts. If you miss learning about, say for example, you want to become a web developer and for some crazy reason you do not learn how databases work, websites are beautiful database interfaces. Basically, they show you data. But if you don't know how databases work, you'll be making an empty website which will be pretty much useless. So it will suck when you're about to finish building your website that now you have to start learning databases. And most of these computer science systems work on multiple components, and it is kind of easy to overlook a component or the other. Maybe it is algorithms that you don't come across in the self-learning route. So if you're hell-bent going through this journey self-taught, then my advice to you will be that you have to be very, very, very well planned. You have to prepare so that you don't have these blind spots. So for example, you go to a university's website, look at their entire curriculum and do at least 80% of the courses, if not all. And if there is something that gets missed, it's okay, you'll be able to learn. So for example, when I studied computer science, there was a course called Software Testing and Quality Assurance. And that was totally okay for me to have skipped in college, because as soon as you start working in a company, you will be working with a QA team. And just by asking a few questions, you can understand the software testing process pretty easily. So that's the raw advice that you asked for. Now let's take this discussion to another student. So let's assume that you're from India and you do not have the money to pay for a bachelor's degree in engineering. Well, now you have to go the self-taught route, because that one is the cheapest, even though it is one of the hardest. You will be doing many things that I already suggested. For example, creating that portfolio, learning as you go, and finding those mom and pop shops or businesses or anybody that needs coding skills and requirements. Learn the skills and then put yourself out there. Get these projects out in the world. Start a GitHub portfolio. So basically, step by step, you have no idea how to code. You start going to Udemy, Khan Academy, try Lead Code, understand the basics of coding and web development. Now that you have some idea of how websites are created, put yourself out there for your services on online platforms like Craigslist or Fiverr or Upwork. These places you might start finding some clients, or just ask around in your neighborhood network. Go door to door to businesses, ask them, hey, I'm a website developer, do you need a website? Make house calls, get these projects, probably even unpaid in the beginning, but you can start charging as you go and as you get more experienced. Now, if you have a client or two and you build their website, you get feedback from them, you improve it, you're improving your skills and you're improving your client relationship. Put these websites up on a GitHub profile and apply to companies. Because if that's your goal, you want to get a job, apply to 100 companies, 200 companies. Every company has a careers page. You can go there, apply, put in your resume, and don't forget in your cover letter to mention that you're a go-getter, that even though you did not have the money to get a degree, you were able to grasp all these skills from around the internet and you were able to get this information. And don't be afraid to reach out for mentors. Go to LinkedIn profiles of people and maybe send them a cold message, and that's okay. Most of the people won't reply, but if somebody has a little bit of bandwidth in their life and you let them know that you genuinely need help, they'll be able to mentor you or at least show you a direction. And when someone shows you a direction, share your progress with them. Nothing will ever make somebody happy than seeing a young person's progress. Maybe this person, this mentor was there at their level long ago, but now you're able to help this new student. So again, there are so many ways you can do this and create your own path and journey, whether or not you have lots of money, time, or resources. Now, let's take this discussion to a student in America. If you are a student in America and you have the money, well, I'm assuming your parents have the money to buy you a college degree, which will cost, I don't even know how much, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Please go that route. Well, okay, you will have to vet how good the college is and how great the degrees are. You can talk to the admissions department, ask them, what is the path of a computer science student? Do you provide internships? If yes, put them high on your list, because internships is again that real world experience that you might not get elsewhere. And then ask, how do the teachers teach? Do they make you do group projects? Because I still remember back in my master's time when I was at USC, one of my web development classes, the professor gave us, after learning how a basic website, how to code a basic website, our final project was 4 people in one group, and each person was supposed to build a component of a website, and eventually we had to integrate all those 4 components and create a whole shopping cart experience. So that was really invaluable as a skill that I took to the real world. I took to the companies that I worked for, because I had to collaborate in teams, and just that skill from that class helped a lot. So ask these questions, because in the end you have to understand, what is your goal? Do you want to become a software engineer for a company? Do you want to start your own software business, or anything in the middle? So understand, if you want to get a job at a software company, say as a web developer, you should be able to build good websites that look beautiful, that have JavaScript working, which is error-free, bug-free, and eventually, as you progress these websites, you're able to scale the number of users. And that experience is only going to come when you work for really big companies. For example, when I worked for Netflix, I worked on projects that 200 million people were seeing. So we had to make sure that at that scale, everything is error-free, and we were doing lots of systems tests and things like that. So you don't have to worry about those things as a student right now, but anytime you're thinking about corporate or jobs, understand that these companies are here to hire you if you provide value to them. They are a business and they want workers to bring the business forward. So if they need a website that will bring in users, like Facebook has a website, many users use it, 2 billion of them. So if you're working on a Facebook website, you want to make sure for 2 billion users, this website is error-free, it looks beautiful, it loads really fast. what are the characteristics that are important to these companies. So even when you're going to the careers page, when applying for jobs, go read the mission of this company really well, empathize with what this business owner really wants. And when you're going to talk about those things that are important to these business owners, you are going to shine bright in an interview as well. So I hope that clarified many myths and doubts that you might have had about going the self-taught route versus university route. University gives you structure. Somebody is literally telling you what to do, when to do. So you go through the whole process and learn all the bits and parts. Self-taught, you have to plan, you have to be accountable, you might be lonely. So understand that both routes come with pros and cons, because self-taught is really flexible, cheap. Like you said, you can be efficient with your time. University can be very time consuming and it can cost a lot. So understand how much money do you have, your parents, or how much time do you have. Like even if you are somebody who is already established in a career and you want to switch to software engineering, say you're in your mid-30s or 40s even, I don't see you going to a university studying with the 18-year-olds, I'm assuming, especially if you have a full-time job. So most likely you will have to take the self-taught route. And in that, I would say again, go through different university syllabi, and understand what is expected of you, what components and systems you need to understand to make things work. If you want to become a mobile engineer, you need to understand how iOS works, how Android works, how you can integrate APIs, get the data, massage the data, get it into the UI, things like that. So again, all of this depends. Understand the pros and cons of each method and see where you fall in the spectrum. It is, if you are so self-driven, I think self-taught route will be fine for you. But if you think that you need accountability, it is better to go the university route. But at the same time, push yourself to build that portfolio. And I don't see any reason that you won't succeed in this journey. All right, that is all from me. So if you found the answer that you were looking for, I'm glad that you did. And if you want to know in detail how to become a software engineer with different routes, I've already made a video about it. I share my journey, how much money I made, everything. So go check it out. And thank you for sticking till the end, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.